ma ho for the Club for Jesus Ventures for near our channel obeso from our for one sem ebeda wo mo anope ye ne de kase everywhere me kofiapia me
oh enne na kwache adefe
afi yentie kase bono enchemu yesa ase free mampena na ekufu ado atraye na dwumedie kase bi akoso enkran ye bibra ma hodo mpanimfo na abehia ya omotaye nyina ne se wodwene kwampa enkoba sene nipa ekosuku a obesua ngoma saa ne ama no abodin krata na enso oje krata no fini nsem na so onye bibia untimi mfa ne nsa enye hwe na no ena mampeni adwede si na so akasa no wode tu dwa se Ghana ban de ya transe hunu sesebe enya abodin krata obi akɔgye school nko na be mo yetu mpɔn eno nso nti abatani amasesei enwesua a yetu wana ma Ghana memo no ye kyerɛ ensanodwuma ani firidwuma nim die ne yie pa na timi abo ma nipa no be wie school no na asebe won twɛn so obi na emefa na dwuma sano nya bebi de abo no ho bra ne mom se nipa no won firidwuma nim nim die ne ensanodwuma nso a etimi boa no emo no ahwɛ ne ho ma meburo a ɛdɔ so memo ne bi memo no omo nso nya bibi aye na wode abo wo ho ebra eno nso nti abade esi ne so se sika bi eba ne nsɛm no obetani no ahwɛ aboa ama sanwuma yi enso ho adesua akonkan.
Governments across Africa should invest heavily in the digital infrastructure that will form the backbone of our shared prosperity. We must create policies that foster innovation, encourage entrepreneurship, and attract investment from both within and beyond our borders. We must promote interoperability to reduce transaction costs and delays, tearing down the silos that have hindered our progress for too long. And we must leverage the power of digital identity programs, such as the Ghana Card, to improve access to financial services, reduce fraud, and create a more inclusive and equitable economic system. I urge all of us gathered here, indeed governments of Africa, to align our policies and regulatory frameworks to create an environment that nurtures innovation whilst protecting the rights and interests of consumers. Prioritizing investment in digital infrastructure, channeling resources into the communities that have been left behind by the march of progress, and bridging the digital divide that threatens to leave too many Africans on the sidelines of the global economy are exceptionally important and crucial. We must deepen our partnerships across governments, financial...
Na abatu mu di ntwe ya ekoso no kome ahodo a mentimo asita asisi okọ eyetepa de si oho afi mankran so ene ne nansa de si okukuo mu eya hafmantam ya busuafo nyina nimsem na enra abatu komisa be de chiro de otoso mieno yewura bossman asaro ne ntanjrofo hyiae na ne kasem no de ato dwa se ne ekoso me ahodo nyina omo nso te na omo nso hwa na mpom betu dia fa na we nyina akọkọ basa esanse obu ono mo ba betwere din kura no ase onya mfinhia du nwotwe o so onya nyae ohu a anase onya de abehu no obu okura na onye Ghana ni nso no ba betwere din dia beto aba we nyina ka obi ntina de no hyase no aboto komisa ne mpanifo si nkonya ede to abato na asa amanyuko ahoro Ghana ha nyina ni mu sebe ya yemfa Ghana card no kwa na nya dansidi ese obi betimi ama aba akwan na abetwere din na onya kwan to aba je se nipa no ba no kuta ne Ghana card obi okuta bi o Ghana ha bia nim se nipa ne Ghana ni nenso asemo aboto komisa kopagya ba sabre no amanfo so na sere ne abasa twetwe no ase enye yie enye obi ana ne nsa ka ne Ghana card no e na Ghana card kwa kwa na eho no mo a bread dealer so ne ade ntiba ya yento saa ne mene nyina ntungu na yetugu ye no enenne akwakọ wie nsenti yewura Dr. Bossman Asare de atudwa so na pamfo do mogiri yese di ntwofro bi besa abaso no Ghana card na yebede ebetwero.
Anyone who understands democratic elections, who understands the work of election management bodies, will attest that the Electoral Commission of Ghana is one of the best when it comes to the business. So I think for us, we know our work will speak for us, and we are doing the registration. We believe everything will go on very well. So we think that the parties understand. We know these are things the parties may not express them publicly, but privately, they know the Electoral Commission is the best when it comes to this business. And those who criticize, I know privately, they know we are the best at this. Clearly, you can see the real figures were correct, but the disaggregation of the various days. So I don't see this as anything which is so major for people to make a beef about. The bigger picture, the total registered at the time, about 143 was also captured correctly. We have also noticed that the disturbances occurring at some of our registration centers is due to the fact that some people are doubting the ages of some of the applicants. This is the reason why the Commission has been advocating for the usage of the Ghana card, which has the date of birth and the nationality of the bearers of the card, and the abolition of the guarantor system. We are hopeful that in the next registration exercise, applicants will use the Ghana card as the means of identification.
Yewra Dr. Bosman Asare neye abato komisa be de chire na asem kro we ya ho no na ekuwa nshabane ase ye omani di amemo hu nsemachi pa Center for Democratic Development CDD penny baako okomon penifo no ho bi girlfriend asiama de atodwa se wo se manyoko ahodo Ghana ha no omunya ntobo ase ekirechire Ghana fo nkwada na so momunya mfihye du nwotwe a afi no mkotwere no se we ne wasa wo ye onya mfihye du nwotwe a memmen ho ena afa abato komisa so pa wo adwuma ye esanse kanenke beto abana se betrodin se no aba TV so ni ade a radio so na nkomo bode wuro ni ade nenso ne ni nyina nya ade hu bi o se mpanifo hwe na wo mo etu ho anamo girlfriend asiama.
I think people have taken advantage of to perpetuate the kind of violence that have been reported in the media. I think the Electoral Commission should communicate better. We think the police should put their best foot forward for some of the preparations. We should be mindful that these are the build-up to the main election. And when people believe that they don't get justice, there is no fairness through the registration process and other processes leading to the main election. So we need more education about the processes. So somebody who buses or who convinces a minor to register can be convicted the same way the person who is convinced to register. And we don't know whether people are aware that some of these consequences, these actions have some of these consequences. The second one has got to do with how do we even manage the conflict resolution mechanisms around voter registration. We have a district review committee for the voter registration. Do they exude the kind of confidence that they are supposed to exude so that when people even see others passing minors, they will decide to go through the laid down procedures, which is to challenge and then proceed forward to the review committee to have whatever grievances that they have heard. If we haven't done enough to build public confidence, then certainly people are going to stop those who they think do not qualify to register instead of following the processes. So the political parties, I think we need more public education, but again,
Yewra girlfriend asiama ena yetene kan
na otwetwa mu ya ne nya ne tie se omampani abo pani bia ona o MPP fo koto abaso mu yi wo mu a ebe premier sebedwafo enkunwa no odi enkunim ewo manso nkwanta ya wono na ekusi party no na emu apre honomo akonwa no ewo afia ba ye beto no emu owai edin de hwubu akodua na no ye pania bi de kira wono na eda NIBs kakrabia no ano mempani apagya no ama sabre wono ne panimpa ya obeda kakrabia na no na NDC for ede atodwa seda bi so bi okọ premier sebedwani de NIBs kakrabia no ehi obi obetime na da nyina esi wo na watene ne ahwe adwuma ne yi ama omusika sem a enkoyi na nsen no ebetimi agina nti so okọ premier sebedwani akonya de a ene enyi kwan se adwuma kase eti saa no omampani bo ne din se wonkohwe adwuma no eso panifu pi akasa ho omu bi ni imani Africa pania be de Chirua Bryce Simmons wode atodwa sada bi adwuma amampani de ma opani a obi anim safi December abato oba so a ne be kɔbrese na konwa okɔtena so sebedwani no okoye no ena biska krabia na de inisi de se adwuma no hyene nsa efi se adwuma no eda ne konso no eso ya wontumi nya so okoye campaign no akɔpre mrasodwe ne akonwa na semi ena ora John Bodu ya kanno twetwerefo ma MPP amanyuko na se abanyuma aka nyina no opani adwaku ye hweso no wono ena da no de atodwa asafo so bi ani ho se Ghana memu nipa bebre ministers aswafo a omo premier sodwe ne akonwa omampani abedi akire kura no oprema mpani adwa ti ohunu so ne dantemu na mfunso bi omso bi opere mra sebedeni akonya no untumi nye kwanche popani abeda NIBs kakrabia no ma ayeyi.
Well, we are all concerned about the health of NIB. Their financial situation is not very good as we speak now. And I will entertain any argument that says that by his experience and contributing is incapable of managing and restructuring NIB as we speak now. But for the mere fact that he's a parliamentary candidate begs the question, because we have members of parliament who are ministers. We have some of them holding ministries that are sensitive. We have a finance minister who's a member of parliament who will be going for campaign. So I think that they can further come up with other reasons rather than just substance election. You even have a vice president who is a presidential candidate. I think that his job is enormous than just being an MD for Tangaland.
Rajon Bodu and our Tinning.
Na asemkro ya hono na yewura Isaac Adongo so do ani kiremo e o mrahye fium abejuko eto mo ne hwe eye o man sika so no ono eginamo de madom kuma na ode atu dwa se sa di brewe no enye di bride ya amanyosem esan se oba Ghana hanu man prempre no sa sika krabia se wa wiewie sa mo akoni edu akato ne bro na National Investment Bank ne egu anisa entu po obi obetimi akotua adwumako na no na watoto ni mama ne ma yeyi a enye obi a se be di bride nanimu a obepre anantia omanfo so no ye campaign aton ho dia chromanfo basa no a onya brani adaje emfa metena sika krabia ho ntoto ne menti no de osre se we no nya amanyosem ho ne bibia ne mo wosi epe obi asebe wa ben wosikasem num die mu a osa wa adaje ne bre ye obenya de ama Ghana eni sika krabia no na watoto ne ma ama sika krabia no so asanso ejina ne na so yewura Isaac Adongo.
Well, the presidency is the creation of politics. It is the creation of the constitution, and it is a political office. The managing director of a bank is not a political office. That is the difference between the president being a flag bearer and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Because that is the creation of the constitution. It was created to be a political office. But the MD of a bank is not a political office. So we cannot be confusing the two. What I have seen the president do is to consistently show lack of faith and the desire to save NIB from its numerous challenges. What it has done now is to turn NIB into a political financing machinery for a parliamentary candidate. And he doesn't care what that does to the resources of the bank. But it is not only that. Even with the Bank of Ghana, Felix Ado, a renowned accountant, one time the country manager of Pricewaterhouse, his competence is not in doubt. But this is about the second or third time that the Bank of Ghana is appointing him as an advisor to NIB. What happened to the previous appointment? What is there? What is there that he's going back to do? What has he not finished? And if I were him, such a professional, I will reluctantly decline my involvement with NIB because it simply doesn't make sense for you to go there and advise a bank on the first instance, second instance, and what we have is a bank that is the most ill-capitalized in our country, a bank that is virtually insolvent, and all that they are doing at this point in time is simply say that, look, the IMF program is saying that, look, before you can get the next chance, show commitment that you want to resolve the issues with NIB. So let's appoint a new managing director. Let's appoint a new advisor to NIB. Let us send a token of about 1.9 billion as part payment for recapitalization and go and show to IMF. This is what we have done. This is the effort we are making.
Yewura Isaac Adongo Bogatanga Central NDC mrashibjeni ena yetininken. Yedi ani chiremu onsemfromo na owura eye Baka Vomawo Oliver emfinsha be mienu nie ema ofrabrochire ba de betu dwase Ghana soja fomo mre niema hodo ekoso Ghana mu hu ana. Ya matena se amomani wewe se asase makotwiregu social media so nam so ema mpanifo koyire nso be so otu aban de go ntina wa sha sekeka sansem no asem no adi court akoni aba objection overrule ya remande ye se ye koni aba enra na wo so masa atena sansem no so e won kran high court o na ye fra asem no bodin se Oliver Voma wasem na dusu afie hwe ya piempani on the tenadwemu no wa ama ena Clark ba ko so ready to dwa se panfo mo be hia mesrem wara Georgia on edi asem no maame Justice Mary Ekua Yang nzu na wasan kan obetna asemi so miedie nanso wasan go asanwofo obiawofo a okwa akodi ntine de aseni no antimi amaso enam so emebro mu pia bonten no yewura voka bomawo editu dwa se de ekoso Ghana ha wonte ase asemi ye confusion minu ni ya ne ye tu ahyeda ochena ye ba ne saa ne manyina eye saa no ane eche nti ogidi ye pa se Ghana ba mu panifo na ahyeda so mo dandan ne saa nanso ogidi ye se de ekoso no Ghana fo nyina hu sa memu na fro NPP ameko no nyame yadom a enche afida bato no ye behwan akonya de free NPP ameko no ase na ya pa ban papa oba bedi adwaso na ama Ghana so etimi ediye
we've come here has been 2 years on trumped up charges by the regime security. But they have always insisted that I wanted to overthrow the republic or to overthrow this government.
93.7.
Again, it is only an indictment of their own records. They are understanding that they have so badly led this country that every mindful citizen, every sane individual want them out of office. But we are committed to the rule of law and to the democracy we have subscribed to. Ghanaians will show them the way out. I have zero interest in engaging in a coup d'etat. Those whose business is this to engage in coup d'etat, if they do it, maybe Ghanaians will give them their support. But as it stands now, we have always been clear that our advocacy and what we are doing is entitled to engineer for the rest of Ghanaians the justice that our democracy procures. So then we showed up here in court, and as has been the play for the past 2 years, the court, without any reference to anybody, we were just informed that the Chief Justice has assigned the judge on some course, and so it has been adjourned. We come back again on the 20th of May. As to whether or not the same charade is going to continue, we don't know. But we will continue to show up and expect justice from the institutions that the Republic has created. He tried offering money that failed, and when he was called out publicly, he ran to seek the protection of the courts. We are here with that matter has continued for how long now? When we asked him to disclose whether or not they use national security apparatus to harass and to surveil seize the country individuals, as he threatened he would do if I refused the money, he came back claiming that national security duties require him to refrain from answering the question. So we are in the Supreme Court as to whether or not those activities that they conducted, the illegal surveillance they conducted, the harassment that the country suffered at the hands of the regime forces is something which national security should protect and cover. That's something we are in the Supreme Court over, and we'll see how that.
Yura baka vomawo ena yeteni nkan.
I say we uti your boss 93.7